All right, welcome to After Multiple Technical Difficulties, the collective podcast number 22, featuring your boy, TheWeezus. And with me as always is Erlynbebe the Queen.
Hello. You're right. It was like three times. Yeah, it was like 3-4 times just to get here.
Yeah. I restarted my computer. I installed a new version of OBS because updating it is dumb apparently, and then it's still having the same issues. But we're here. We're working with it.
True.
We're pushing through, powering through. We're doing it live. Fuck it.
Yee.
How was your week? You asked me how my week was.
Oh yeah, my week was. Oh, actually, that's what I was actually gonna say. So, two things. I don't know. You probably heard about it. Maybe you didn't. I think I've said this before. My mom likes watching the news. She's really into it. Don't know why. A lot of time it's like depressing stuff. I don't know how she could watch it every day, back to back, constantly. I think I would get really depressed watching that much news, but she doesn't. So, good for her. But that being said, I found out two very upsetting things. The first one has to do with, and I believe that both of these have to do with in Texas, I'm pretty sure. But the first one is about book bannings again. And they put so many books on that list, like, that don't deserve to be on that list. And I say that simply because genuinely, one of the books, and I think you agree with me, like, it's not bad, was The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Where in any of that story is it, like, dangerous for children? Like, I guess you could go ahead and put the normal stuff that's always on there, you know what I mean? Like, what was it, what is it, like Huckleberry Finn or something like that was on there? I don't know, stuff like that. It was just really stupid. Animal Farm was on there. Yeah. That got me upset. I'm like, that's history, but just like made easy for children.
Animal Farm's a great book too. I love Animal Farm.
Yeah, like it's based off of like actual history, just made really nice and easy for like, kids to semi-understand, just it's, caricature. Whatever. I was very upset about it. Then the other thing I found out was, unfortunately, in Texas, they decided that it would be a fine thing to do if people just decided to, not respect trans kids by making it so that if a teacher, guardian, any adult that's in charge of these children knows what's happening to these kids, they have to tell on this person, basically out this person, and that it's abuse to be giving your children hormone blockers or hormone supplements if they're already at that level where they could be taking them. And that was so sad to me because they're basically saying your parents have to out you, and if your parents don't accept that kind of lifestyle, now they're in danger because parents have killed their own trans kids or gay kids just from, literally like the simplest thing. So that's there, and I was very sad about that. Because I like books, and, they're kids. Who cares? But apparently it's abuse if, you, I don't know, let your kid exist. I don't know, live outside the realm of insanity, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of southern states, for years now, they've been doing, like, weird legislation like that. Where it's just, like, whether it comes to, like, voter suppression or, like, just keeping, like, minorities, like, in the dark. It's a very, very weird thing. 1984 was banned, too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was on that list, yeah. A whole bunch of books that you wouldn't think to be on that list were on that list, and it's very sad. Because I was like, I guess some of these... Yeah, like, some of these books don't make sense to me being on there. And then other ones 100% have, like, no reason to be on there. So it was just, it threw me off, like, really hard. Well, okay, you know what I mean. Like, common sense reasons I don't understand. Like, if, like, 50 Shades of Grey was on that list, I'd be like, yeah, no, I don't think middle schoolers should be reading about that. Maybe high schoolers, but if they're like junior seniors, other than that, I can agree. I don't know about that one. But yeah, for sure. I don't know. I feel like The Great Gatsby is not dangerous. There's nothing wrong with it. To me, I don't know. It was just super stupid. I don't know.
It's just a way of like keeping like young.
Whataburger is delicious.
Yeah, it's a way of just keeping like young people growing up down there, like in the dark. Like,
yeah,
if they've never read these books, they won't pick up on these like ideals that some of these books are like pushing out. Like, maybe society isn't like all good and dandy, and maybe you should be a more proactive thinker. And Texas is like, no, America's the best country that ever lived, and and if you don't believe that, you can get out.
Yeah,
Texas is right there, doors open.
Trash.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah, I was really upset. It's like, forgetting like the books, like I said, like I really like books. In general, though, it just feels really shitty for trans kids because, like I said, and I know you know this, but it's just like you're putting these elementary grade, middle school, high school grade kids in danger simply because of your like very simple-minded opinion, which isn't fair because, and I'm sure that they're aware of this, a lot of people wouldn't mind killing someone over nothing. So like you're putting a child at risk simply because your opinion doesn't coincide with whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to make a point of. I don't know. I want to fight someone. I want to put words. I want to put words in somebody's mouth and just be like, stop it.
Well,
I'll say America's great. They say that Texas is great. Well, Texas ain't that great if this is what you're doing. Just feels very...
Texas is basically its own country, like how big it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like our own mini Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up, but we could talk about anything else. I was just very upset about my books and for kids.
Yeah, no, it is very upsetting.
My books deserve better.
Yeah, they the same kind of thing. I mean, not the same kind of thing. Like along the lines of like the book burnings.
Oh my god, Fahrenheit 451 much.
Yeah. I mean, it reminded me of when I read about like I guess in the 60s, I guess when the Beatles were blowing up, I guess John Lennon had made a comment in an interview that the Beatles are bigger than Jesus. Not like saying they're better or more important than Jesus, but like Christianity is a big thing in America. So the fact that the Beatles were getting like so much recognition like in America, he was just like, God damn, we're more popular over here than Christianity. And I guess people took
Bold
that
statement.
People he said it without thinking, and then people took it like very, very literally. So like all the Christians that were Beatle fans are no longer Beatle fans, they're anti-Beatle fans. So they went out and they had like public burnings of like Beatles memorabilia, like t-shirts, the records. That yeah.
Bro, if you were gonna waste it, you should have left it for somebody who would actually use that. Like, I 100% would enjoy having that kind of money in my pocket. Yeah. I would 100% sell all that stuff. You decided to burn it, please.
It's about the message, not about like, oh, I should just get rid of this.
My message is I like bank, and y'all wasted it. Okay.
Yeah, but that happened, and when they did the book burnings too, that kind of reminded me of that.
People burn books. Like, books are so pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they deserve better. What did a book do to you? And like I said, and like you even said it, like some of these books don't even deserve to be on the list. Like, how are they that? Like Animal Farm, for one, it's like I said, it's based off of actual history. Definitely like caricatured a lot, but you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong in it? I don't. Maybe I'm not smart enough to get I don't know.
I mean, if there's one thing that, Texas politicians don't like, it's to remind people about the history. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're like, bury the history. We don't want to talk about it. But also, we like to keep it like the old days. It's like, what?
But like, that's my confusion on it. It's like, what history? Like, it's not entirely like, they have Napoleon in there.
Yeah.
Napoleon isn't American in any way. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, it's a mixture of different like political people, like political heads, figures. You know what I mean? Like I don't get how history that we learn about anyways in history class and take tests on and do projects and all this other shit on it would be bad to read about in English class.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I like when they started doing that with like books, they made like the covers like paper, and then like you could actually still keep the hardcover part. But I also hated it because I was like, sometimes I like the art on that stuff, and they ruin it without looks. I don't know. It just seemed ugly to me because like they ruined such a pretty decoration. Like somebody took their time to like doodle that stuff, and you just shat on it.
Yeah. Yeah, the book bannings. And also, I mean, I watch the news every morning. I turn it on and I watch it when I wake up for like an hour while I'm getting ready for work. I stay pretty up on what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just very depressing to me when I found that out.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't surprise me because I knew that was going on like months ago. Because they were talking about doing it months ago.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that like it was like an actual official. Like you see like articles on it, but I saw these articles on Facebook. So like Facebook, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna stick too much of my opinions and faith in a Facebook article. But when I saw it on the news, I was like, it can't be entirely not true because it's on the news. They gotta like A-OK some of this stuff. I don't know. I feel like they would at least. I don't know. I could be wrong. Keeping the middle to lower class. Yeah, they would do something like that. It's really stupid. I feel like we're not a threat like that. I don't know. Like,
no,
so what if we have... But, like, clearly we're not because you have somebody as, like, rich as Trump. And, like, he has money to actually use a brain, but, like, he doesn't, So, like, it's just a whole lot of, I don't know, stupid.
I mean, you see how far misinformation, like, controls the everyday person.
Yeah, it really does.
Like, how many people do you know that, like, said, I'm not getting vaccinated, and you can't tell me otherwise, and I don't have a reason for it? Or they give you a non-existent reason. Like you get the vaccine and it turns your
2 people.
Yeah.
That I know personally, which was one, my sister, but only because she got COVID 3 fucking times. So like she technically already has antibodies, but she ended up still getting like the vaccine anyways, but like later because like I said, she had it 3 times.
Yeah.
Don't know what her fucking problem was, but she got it 3 times. And then the other one was my stepdad's sister. Him and his sister, their mom are, I don't know, like allergic to like a specific compound that's in the vaccine, unfortunately, which is, kind of sad.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. So like they can't get it, but like obviously they want to if they can, but it's kind of hard to get something when like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like technically I don't know too many people, but.
Yeah, but for someone to be like, I don't want to get the vaccine because Tucker Carlson told me not to get it, that's a stupid-ass reason.
Yeah. I can't agree with someone like that. I don't like when people, like, trust, like, that blindly into stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not saying don't have your own opinion. Like, if you trust person trusts person, but like
fine
for
to
something
have
like
your
this,
own opinion, but like don't base your opinion off stuff that other people say.
Yeah, and like technically that's how all information is shared. So like I'm not too upset about that kind of stuff happening. What I'm upset about more so is like silly stuff when it comes to like, all right, you want to believe that, that's fine. You can. You have. It's your prerogative. Do whatever you feel like doing, but don't sit there and act shocked when something happens and you can't do anything about it, and then you're all of a sudden like, why are my family members or friends like they're just shocked and surprised that like you have this very singular opinion based off of little facts or research. Like if you at least minimum told me, hey, I did my research, I checked it out, I still came to this conclusion, I still agree with this like person saying this on the news or whatever, like on whatever, like interviews and stuff like that. Okay, different story. I could still disagree with you, but at least you still, you know what I mean? You took the time out of, your day to really make sure and check that you agreed with this person's opinion. If you're not doing that, then yeah, you look like a numpty. I don't know. Like, you look sad. Definitely a numpty. Big numpty.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that I know, but sometimes I'm just like, do I really know? I don't know.
Do I know? Do I truly know what it is that I'm talking about? Maybe not.
It could just be I have my own prerogative just like everybody else. Who knows?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like you can never know for sure.
Sometimes I'm just like looking at everything that's going on and I'm just like, man, all these fucking people are crazy. And then I just think about it for a second and I'm like, I'm the only one it seems like I'm the only one that thinks like this. Maybe I'm the crazy one.
Yeah. You're not entirely crazy. I get what you mean. Imagine you like someone for being sheeple?
Sheeple.
What is sheeple? Like a sheep person? Sheep people? Yeah. Is that what you mean? Oh, sheeple. Oh, okay. I've literally seen people...
People call people sheeps? You know why?
Oh, so okay. It's like a combination word. Got you. I was really confused. Yeah. I'm like, what the heck is a sheeple? Did he mean to say that? I don't know.
Sheeple, yeah. Sheep people. People.
Sheep people.
Yo, I saw a fucking... It was like an Icelandic film.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer for it. I forget what it's fucking called, but it was the creepiest like horror thriller movie or whatever.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen it.
You saw it? Oh my god.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's actually really interesting. Really weird. It's definitely 100% metaphoric. It's not like meant to be taken that way, but it's I like it. I thought it was interesting.
Lamb,
to say. Yeah, Lamb.
It came out last year. It came out New Year's Eve in Poland. But it's an Icelandic movie.
Yeah.
No. It takes place in Iceland. But it may have came out in Poland. Oh no, it is Icelandic because the language is in Icelandic. Yeah, basically there's a kid sheep.
Kid sheep.
It's
turns out too.
The head of a lamb, the body of a child. It's a weird movie. It's like supposed.
What's it about? It's very metaphoric in its like I don't know. I guess message. If you want to say, it's about this couple who lost their kid and they have a sheep farm and in like the middle of the night, one of their sheep gets impregnated by this creature. And they don't show you what it is, but you could get an idea of what it is. Like Krampus, kind of like that. Like it looks like him, like sheep head, but human body, stuff like that. So like Minotaur, I guess. I don't know. And they end up finding the baby because the sheep ends up giving birth to the baby, obviously, and it gives birth to the sheep, and the sheep turns out to basically look like the dad, and it's really just a sheep head with a child's body, and so they decide to like raise it as their own, and then like the sister's brother ends up coming over, and like it's a whole thing. The mom ends up killing like the sheep's actual mom as a baby because she's annoyed that the sheep keeps trying to like find its way into the house to get its baby back. Really weird. And then like it ends with like the dad dying because like the actual like sheep's dad came for it. And yeah, it's very, like I said, it's very, you'd have to, so like, it sounds, I've seen somebody do a review on it because I really wanted to watch it, but like the premise is 100% just fucking weird. So I was like, I'm not going to take it too seriously. There's no way, you know, like why would I, you know? And I was right. I really didn't need to take this movie seriously at all whatsoever in any way, because it's just that. It's 100% meant as a metaphor. It's not meant to be anything. Yeah.
Iceland's got like their own kind of thing going. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the Eurovision Fire Saga movie with Will Ferrell.
No. Sounds interesting though.
He plays this Icelandic guy, and he grows up there, and his childhood and lifelong dream is to be on the Eurovision Song Contest. If you don't know what the Eurovision Song Contest is, it's basically like American Idol for all of Europe.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So, like 30, 40 countries come out to this contest, and they vote in their best bands, or no, they get handpicked. Their best local bands are like handpicked and selected to go to the Eurovision Song Contest, and they go there to compete to be the best. It's a real thing, but they made a movie about it, and Will Ferrell plays this guy from Iceland. And he grows up with this girl, and he's got a crush on her, and they're in this band called Fire Saga. And they go band. Yeah, they go to Scotland, which is where the Eurovision was taking place, and you know, they get into some shenanigans and shit, and it's super cool. Where was I going with this? But yeah, so there's real like Icelandic culture like sprinkled in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like the girlfriend keeps saying, oh the elves are gonna bring us good luck. I gotta go pray to the elves and thank the elves.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I must thanketh the Lord.
That's like a weird thing that they just added to the movie. No, real Icelandic people actually like pray to elves like on a regular basis, like today. Like
interesting.
They build these like little huts in the sides of mountains, and they go there and they like leave bottles of whiskey and like baskets of bread for them.
Yeah,
it's a very real thing. Like they actually believe in elves, and they're like, the elves bring you good. Every fortunate thing that happens in your life is because the elves made it happen in some way or another. It's a real thing. I found that super interesting.
That's really cute. I like that.
So yeah.
See, America doesn't have that kind of culture.
No.
We're just not built that way, I guess, you know.
I don't know. I mean, I tell people this all the time. America is a big landmass. So like every state almost has their own culture. Like you got people from Boston that are different from New Yorkers. New Yorkers are people different from Atlanta. People from Atlanta are different from people from LA. It's like there's multiple cultures, but it's still America. You know what I mean? Because we all got different foods from different places.
Well, we also have
got Seattle, you got Miami, you know.
But it's coming from the people of those cultures. That's what I mean. Like, technically, America doesn't have culture. It has people of culture.
It's like a melting pot. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I just find it cool. But, like, I thought about that because I was just like, when I went on this road trip with my dad, they went on this off-road park in, like, PA.
Ooh.
And I think I told you about this, or maybe I mentioned it on one of the podcasts before, but they had this wooden carving that was painted, and it said it had this creature drawn on it, and it said Goat Man on it. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is that? Goat Man?
Goat Man.
And then they had everybody like have a radio so they could keep in contact.
Ooh.
And so I guess the tour guide was like telling us about like the history of Goat Man. And he said 100 years ago in these very woods, there were like campers that came out camping. And they said in the middle of the fucking night, they heard like high pitched screeching in the woods, and then they look out into the woods to see what it was, and there was like this like really tall creature with like the body of a human but like the head of a goat. And it had like beaming red eyes, and it was all furry. They were like it's Goat Man, so it's like a local urban legend to that little area about Goat Man. And I even got a sticker, it's still in my car. It's like, I survived Goat Man sticker. I was like, that's cool, Goat Man. Boston Dunkin' Donuts, New York Pizza, Atlanta great rap artists, Texas no books.
That's so petty.
No books, no purse.
Like, what would you know? You and your no person of culture.
Nope.
That's another thing. Like, you're definitely just disregarding like whole different types of like authors from like different countries and, you know, different walks of life, or like different states that have experienced different things during that time period that they created that book. Like, Huckleberry Finn was created in a time that was not really similar to, like, similar-ish to now, but you know what I mean? Like, still, like, the lifestyle and things that the technology was different. You're not going to get the same explanations or experiences if you get rid of that book.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's very unnecessary.
Yeah.
Although I did enjoy that little his hat that Quincy just put.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the whole book burning thing did start with like you know, just like trying to get rid of communist propaganda. That's why they got rid of 1984.
Yeah.
Which it's not really propaganda. It's just like an informational book. Like you said, it's just like a book about like history, like stuff that happened.
Yeah.
It's not.
There's not. Yeah.
I mean, obviously they put the Communist Manifesto on that list for, I guess, good reason.
Jesus.
I don't know. You could still walk into a Barnes and Noble, like where I'm from, and just buy a Communist Manifesto. My cousin did it when he was up here one time. He literally did. Like, we were at a Barnes and Noble, and he was just like looking around, and he was like, "Oh my god, I found a Communist Manifesto. I'm buying this." I was like, "Really? Go for it." Dude.
Okay.
Why not?
Interesting choice.
I know. Oh, I remember why we were there. I think I promised my sister I'd buy her a book from there.
Oh. Wait, they only have John Wayne's autobiography in there? How boring.
John Wayne.
You're gonna have to go to like a Barnes and Nobles if you want to experience something different, you know? Like, you want a taste of like actual culture in a book, and you gotta wait.
A book on how to shine your spurs, or sharpen them. Shine your boots and sharpen your spurs.
How depressing.
How to give your cousin the loving she needs.
Immediately on F5.
That's more of a West Virginia book. Immediately on an FBI watch list. Sheesh.
I like it. I 100% prefer if somebody told me that, like, if I had to choose between two different things, be it like losing books or having to lose a couple books, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would say I'd rather lose a couple books. I don't think personally, because I hated doing, like, you know, work on it, I wouldn't miss The Great Gatsby. 100%. And Shakespeare. You could get rid of those 2 books, maybe a couple more, and I'd be fine. But getting rid of basically all the normal books you would do any type of work on in English class, I'm not fond of that. What am I supposed to write my fucking summer class homework on, I have summer work to do. I have a book report. Or I have a project. We'll book a reading. No offense to John Wayne, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to be reading John Wayne every semester for my whole entire high school career.
Yeah.
That's just me. I personally would not enjoy it.
Have you seen what's been going on like worldwide though?
With the Ukraine? Bits and pieces. I like I said, it's it's always on the news because my mom is always watching the news. So like I do hear about it, but it being on basically 24/7 for me is, like I said, that's why like it's depressing for me. I'm not saying I don't want to know, but I'm not used to having to know that stuff, so it feels very uncomfortable with more like she does switch between like, the channels, like the news channels that are like, having a discussion on it versus like the news channels that are actually like reporting live what's happening using videos or like footage that they got or whatever. So like, I don't know. I obviously like let myself watch some stuff, but like I'm just like, since it's happened, it's just been on. Like that's one of like the main things that's ever been on in the house. So like I can't get away from it. So I try to just block it out if I can.
Yeah, I get it. So I will say
some stuff.
I will say this though. Ukraine is putting up a hell of a fight.
Oh, I did see that, yes. I was excited for that. I was happy for them. I'm like, this is exactly what they deserve.
It was reported that the entire operation was supposed to be done and over within 48 hours. It's been a week.
Yep.
It's been 8 days.
Yep. I'm so proud of them. They're so great. And I saw a video of a farmer or something like that. He was able to use his tractor and steal like a Russian tank.
Oh yeah, they've been doing that. They've been selling it for like scrap and like stealing them and using them for like farm vehicles now.
I was so confused. I was like, y'all just leaving your tanks out to get stolen like that? Like, hello?
Yeah.
Russia? Hello? Are we okay? Are we okay? You're losing so bad that people can just walk around and just take your tank using farm equipment.
The thing is, it is not a full-blown war, is what people don't understand. It's not a full-blown war. It's an invasion.
No, but you know what I mean.
They don't want to. They don't want to go in there and level Ukraine. They want to. They want to just take it over, and they want to install their own Russian regime in there.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like. Like,
yeah,
you guys are down that bad, like really
it's crazy, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because usually, and I'm not in the army, but from what I'm aware of, and usually how it works is that tanks and all your artillery and your guns and stuff like that are usually kept on the on your base, locked down to keep it from getting into the enemy hands. But farmers are able to just pick your stuff up and take it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was very funny. But like a whole tank was taken by a farmer. That's what I'm confused about. Like it wasn't like it was an operation by like, the Ukrainian army to like take it. Like it was just a farmer went, saw it, turned on his tractor, picked it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying it's a very confusing. Like they were boasting Putin was boasting. He's like, it's not gonna take us super long. We're gonna take it up. Blah, blah, blah. It's like you guys are losing to a country that's really small. And technically, if you want to like really say like number wise, should somewhat actually probably have some problems actually defending against you, but they're not
I am a stan of the Ukrainian president right now. An
I love
stan.
that.
Vladimir Zelensky. He is I want to be like him when I grow up. He is on the ground fighting with his boots laced up, with a helmet on, shooting back at the fucking Russians with his people. No, I can't think of another president that's done that. Like anywhere across the world.
I don't think any. I honestly, I think he's doing a really well, like a good job considering everything he's got to deal with at the moment.
Yeah, the U.S. actually offered him a evac from the country, and he responded to them with I need ammo, not a ride. In a rough translation, yeah.
I like that. He's like, help me the way I'm asking to be helped. Yeah. I don't need that kind of help. I saw a video of a woman yelling at a soldier saying that every second woman in this town is a witch. Tomorrow you won't be able to ever get hard again.
Oh yeah, dude. There's a small island off of the coast of Ukraine called Snake Island, and I guess the Russian Navy was like pulling up on it, and they sent a radio transmission through where they were like, "This is a Russian warship. We do not want to fire upon you guys, but we will if there will be any resistance. We repeat, this is a Russian warship. We do not want to fight. We want you to give up your arms peacefully." And then
give up your arms peacefully. Okay.
Yeah, another radio transition goes back to them, and it says, "Russian warship, go fuck yourself." they actually said that, but now they're captured, which is sad.
Aww.
Like it was, I guess they picked up the audio from that transmission, and they were like as soon as we heard about it, we were like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then the second thought was, "Oh, they're all probably dead now. That sucks."
Oh, I hope they're not.
It was actually reported that they are not dead. They are captured. They are prisoners of war right now.
Ooh.
So, pretty crazy stuff's going on over there. I saw another video where over the water there was like a bunch of Russian helicopters going, and a bunch of Ukrainians were like shooting like missiles at it. Mm-hmm. And there was one, and it had subtitles, so I
saw that they also requested from like NATO a no-fly zone just to like, I guess protect obviously allies from bad stuff.
Yeah, do not fly over Ukraine right now.
Very dangerous stuff happening.
Craziness. And there's so many refugees pouring into Poland. Nuts. Nutty.
It really is. I don't know. It's like a lot to take in, like especially if you're just getting into it like recently. A lot of information.
Well, I was shocked when it first happened because I was like, for the last like couple months, I would just turn on the news, watch it as I'm like getting ready for work, and then literally like Wednesday of last week, I turned it on and I was just like, wait, what the fuck? Russia invaded Ukraine? Because I've been hearing about them like setting up around their borders, like saying, I'm not touching you, like for months now.
I'm not touching you. This sounds like some sibling stuff.
It is. Putin's a bully big brother.
If only it were that easy that she could just, I'm
telling Mom.
I know, right?
But they're orphan kids. They can't tell Mom.
Mom doesn't know. Don't fight me. She isn't here. She isn't home yet. That's what it gives me.
Yeah.
Kids could be scary too. It also was like, it bothered me how like, this is obviously just me, but like, I don't know, it bothered me that the president was giving, I don't know if he's actually giving it to him. I was like very in and out of like the program when it was talking about it, but like he was giving like weapons to like his citizens, and that kind of,
oh yeah,
like I get it, they were all saying like, oh yeah, no, we want to defend our country, and all this stuff. But in my head, it was just kind of bothersome because I was like, maybe some of these people don't exactly know what they're getting into because they're making themselves targets, whether they want to be one or not. Like, I get they want to defend, but I don't think they understand 100% the repercussions that could happen for you just having a gun, even if you don't use it. Like, if for some reason, you know what I mean? Like, if a Russian, soldier, like, came into, or like a team, came into your home for a hot second, you know what I mean? I don't know. I know they're staying and they chose to, and like they decided that they wanted to be a part of it and all that, but it was also just like you evacuated your whole family to do this, but like it still doesn't seem like you thought it out because I don't know. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure you guys get out, but I'm gonna stay and fight, even though I'm an innocent civilian that has no reason to be doing something like this, especially when I have family.
It's a very fucked situation, being as that,
yeah.
They're not part of NATO yet, so all the European countries can't really give them weapons or provide the amount of infantry that they need. So they're kind of just scrounging all the aid that's being sent over, on top of just like, hey, we don't have enough men to combat the superpower that is Russia, so they're just like we don't have a way they're just like it. Any healthy dude with both arms and both legs, like, you need to stay and fight, and they're getting so desperate to the point where they're just like, all right, they're releasing prisoners. I saw today they're releasing prisoners with combat experience. To fight for the Ukrainian army.
Nice. Well, I mean, they do need all the hands they can get. It makes sense.
Yeah. I saw a meme today where it was like, you ever seen that meme where it's like this wrestling guy, and he's sitting there like celebrating, and then like in the darkness behind him, there's like a guy just glaring at him, and it's like a bigger wrestling guy.
Yeah,
I saw that, and it was like invading Russians, and then the guy behind him was like Ukrainian serial killers. It's funny. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It could be a lot.
Yeah, I believe in him though.
I hope they're able to, win and get what they deserve out of it.
Yeah, I think best case scenario, I don't think there's gonna be much to win.
Yeah.
On Ukraine's side, other than I think best case scenario, Russia just fucks off.
Which I highly doubt. Unfortunately, like I do doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it, but like best case scenario, Russia just fucks off. And, they just have to start a rebuilding process.
It's gonna be so difficult because they were, like, bombing still, like, very, you know what I mean? Like, very casual areas.
Yeah. A lot of war crimes going on. It's crazy.
War crimes are scary too. You never know who you can actually like put some trust in.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but probably not. The other night, the State of the Union address was on, and I was watching it, and I saw that Biden said that he was going after the Russian oligarchs, and I was like, ooh. I don't know if you know what an oligarch is. It's basically like an ultra rich person in a specific country, I guess. Yeah, country.
Yeah.
That like money to the point where like they're not like a politician, but like they basically are, because they fund a lot of the politics that go on in that said country.
Yeah.
And that's happened a lot, like way before Putin was even in power. Like,
wow.
They have some rich boys.
I feel like that's even like here in America too, just slightly like differentish because you know how it works.
We don't call them oligarchs because oligarch has
too fancy of a word.
Oligarch has a very negative meaning to it. So to call Mark Zuckerberg an oligarch, they'd be like, no, he's not. He invented Facebook. He's not a bad guy. It's like, yeah, but he's got he's got his money in politics, which makes him by definition an oligarch. So yeah, we do.
He is helping out like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's normal for anyone in a position of like money and power to be doing.
I don't think so, but that's just me.
Well, I'm saying people that obviously want to change the country for the better or for what they believe. Of course, it's going to be normal for them to put money into supporting the person that they choose. You know?
Yeah, I don't think money should be involved in politics at all. I think the problem is when it comes to like campaigning or like, just like under the table. Like for example, there's this politician around where I live where he was promoting this vegan restaurant that he supposedly liked going to, and he had pictures taken there and he was like, you guys have my full support, but then it came to light that he was like taking a bunch of money from Purdue, which is a chicken farm company. Yeah,
I hate Purdue.
They were giving him lots of money.
Like free money?
Free money, just so that he can keep in legislation that were in their favor. And that happens all the time. That's why oligarchs exist, is so that they can pay politicians to keep the best interest of their business in check. Not for the country. They don't give a shit about the country. That's the whole point of rich people. They want to make the world a better place for them. They don't care about everybody else.
Sometimes money feels like it should be the easiest thing to understand, but it's not, It's
corruptible.
Yeah, exactly. It's very easy, too. It's weird, like, money technically should buy everything, but at the same time, it buys so much more than, like, it necessarily doesn't have to. Like, there's no reason to put extra money into money that you're already making, but you're doing that.
Yeah. Well, people a lot of times, and especially in America, people feel entitled to the way things should be because when it's not money coming in from like large companies, it's taxpayer money. And when it's taxpayer money, the people feel entitled that that's their money too. It's their money. It's not a collective of everybody's money. So when stuff doesn't go their way, people start crying. And then that also helps sway politicians because it gets people to vote for them.
It does, yeah. Money is very easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also. Why are we not dumping money into Ukraine? Is that covered? Maybe I just didn't hear that part. I feel like I might have heard that part and I just didn't pay attention to it.
We can send them aid like food and like medical supplies, but we can't send them weapons. We can't send them soldiers
because
they're not part of NATO. And we are
right, they didn't sign, yeah.
Yeah, they're not part of NATO. We are part of NATO, and that would be against the treaty. It's part of the rules. We can't. There's certain things we can send them, like I said, money, food, bandages. Can't send them weapons. Can't send them soldiers. Because then that'll piss. Not only can we not do that like legally by treaty, I don't want to say legally, but by treaty we can't do that. But also, if we do that, that's gonna fucking piss the fuck out of Russia.
Probably. But are part of NATO too? I feel they're not part of NATO, right? Like I feel like does it
Russia's
matter?
not part of NATO. Russia
That's what I was like, what does it matter?
They
like
hate
we're
NATO.
like
that's the reason this all went down is because Ukraine was thinking about joining NATO. And they said, keep your Western fucking politics out of my fucking backyard. And they said, fine, you're not gonna fucking listen to me? How's this? I'm gonna invade this fucking country. Just to prove how big my dick is. That's basically what Putin's doing right now.
Ah, okay. Well.
Because all that area, like all the... Let me look at a map.
Yeah. I'm not, yeah.
I know you can't see where I'm pointing. So yeah, I think most of Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Belarus, Latvia, Estonia, some of Finland, a lot of Finland actually.
Yeah.
Moldova.
Wow.
And I just heard that they're actually considering they applied to join the to join NATO.
Damn.
As well.
Nice.
But all those countries, that was all USSR territory at one point in history, like 30 years ago.
Damn.
And Soviet Union fell. A bunch of these states declared independence. And now they have their own democracies, their own cultures, their own languages, all their own stuff going on. And Russia's still sad and sour that all that happened. And so yeah.
I mean, if they're so sad about it, maybe they should have done better. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's not much to say about it other than just, like, you know, get fucked.
Exactly.
But, like, Russia's got a very powerful, like, they overwhelm a lot of Europe when it comes to, like, numbers and their nuclear, power.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just a big military presence in general. They can kind of just like bully whoever they want, like Ukraine. And because Putin is an ex-member of the KGB, like he knows all about like old Soviet politics and stuff that he can and can't do. So he knows how to get his sneaky way around like the Russian Constitution and the old history of like why the Ukraine really belongs to Russia in his mind. He thinks a lot of Georgia should be part of Russia. I think he invaded Georgia not too long ago. Like in 2008 or something.
I could get it, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a lot of just like like post World War II and like Cold War stuff going on. Because I see people all the time like, why is Russia doing this? Why? It's like that's a complicated question. Is why.
I feel like it shouldn't be that complicated. Because honestly, like
long
if you
story
just
short,
learned about the basics, you should technically understand it. But I can't say shit because I forgot all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's no set answer, but basically, like, long story short, Russia doesn't like NATO. NATO likes Ukraine. Ukraine likes NATO. Russia doesn't like that, so Ukraine mine.
Well, I like it. It gives me lots of I know how to be petty kind of stuff. That's what it gives me.
Yeah. Very petty.
Very much like acting like it's theirs, even though everyone's aware that it's not.
For a long time, too. It has not belonged to them for a long time. Like, he can sit there and say, oh, that was once strong Russian territory. His whole fear is, like, Western influence.
That's the other thing that I completely forgot about too, like the whole entire spheres of influence and all that stuff, and just a lot of there's just so much. It's like thinking about it, it's like just making me remember all the tests I did back to back year after year in school. And technically, I guess, yeah, I was fucking owned by my history teacher. This stuff was important for today. I don't know if you ever got told that, but like, it's like, history is important to know for the present day. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if the Cold War is really going to affect anything right now since it's been so long. Lo and behold, yeah, technically it is. It's still affecting a lot.
And yeah, people that don't learn history become people that become important in the future, and then they don't learn about history themselves, and then history ends up repeating itself. History always repeats itself, always, because people forget history. People don't think about, oh, that didn't work out before, let me not do that. People are like, oh, surely it won't happen twice, and then it does. War.
As long as we don't have like a Julius Caesar kind of moment, I think I'll be okay. You know, I wouldn't be too upset with
That was nuts. It's so crazy to think about
all of this stuff. Yeah.
Julius Caesar, like, even like Rome as like a great example. The amount of times the entire city has been sacked by multiple different cultures, like it was like
everyone wanting a piece of it. Yeah,
it was like a firm standing like civilization for like a super long time. And then once the Roman Empire fell, it was just hard for, you know, them to get back on their feet. Yeah. Italians haven't always been there, believe it or not. It was like, I think all of Rome was like controlled by like the Ottomans at one point, I think.
Rome has been controlled by like everyone. I feel like I could be wrong, but it feels like everyone's controlled some part of Rome to some extent at some point in history.
The Colosseum was used as a fortress.
And then it became a gladiator ring.
Well, no, it was originally built as a gladiator ring, but once the
I know.
Once the city got sacked, like, it was used as like a base fortress for whatever whoever like sacked it first. Yeah.
I can't imagine that being a form of entertainment that I'd be excited for. Like, yeah, let me watch some guys kill each other. Like, I'm good. I don't need to see that.
People wanted to see that back then.
Well, because they didn't have anything better. I know they didn't have like anything to actually. They didn't have Netflix. Them.
Yeah,
Netflix and chill would have been so nice.
They didn't have Netflix. They didn't have Pornhub. The way people got their frustration and everyday grief out was by going to see gladiatorial events.
Yeah.
Plus, it was very like, I guess, embedded in like the culture almost.
Yeah. Like
it's like it's like a soldier that serves in the army. Like you see someone that's like, oh, I served for so and so years over in this country, and it's just like, oh, thank you. It's almost like a tote of respect to see someone win in a gladiator game.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also like the whole entire like fighting the lions and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was very much for entertainment purposes. Nothing about glory there. They were just like, who wants to see me cut the head off of this lion that was imported from Africa?
If I can.
And they're like, woo!
It's so, I don't know. Anytime people are like, oh, if you could go to the past, would you? I'm like, no. What am I supposed to do? I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm sure like it'd probably be cool, but like I like internet I don't see myself like not finding a way to like murder myself or something like that to just find time to find something entertaining, because I don't want to watch somebody else die, and I'd rather not kill someone for entertainment. And I like reading books, but I do get bored of them. So like, what else am I supposed to do? Go outside every day? Every day? Do what? Like, you know, like they don't have like actual sports. You know, they don't have like a concept of just like hiking. Like they probably thought that was gross or something. Like, I don't know. Like leave me alone to like have my internet. I don't like, unless I'm rich, I'm okay. I don't really need it. Good. You know, I'm not gonna struggle to figure something out then.
Yeah.
Only rich people get to do the fun stuff. Still,
yeah. To this day.
No.
I don't know if I was to go back to the past, I don't know what time period or what I would go back to.
Well, I'm not gonna say this to be mean, because it's not mean. But you're white. I think you'd be fine.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't even mention that. I don't have the luxury of sitting here and being all like, I can't say that. As far as I'm aware of, any colored person's almost always been punished for just being colored, so I don't have any way to survive.
I mean, any distinct group of people has always been discriminated against.
For no valid reason.
Yeah, like, the Egyptians had Jewish slaves, the fucking, obviously more recently in America, African-American slaves.
Which, to this day, since I've found out, like, more stuff because of the Black Lives Matter and all that, which is a good thing, I was very surprised by, like, my lack of understanding on how, like, actually, like, bad some of the stuff is.
Some of the stuff? Oh, like, what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, again, like I said, like, I don't watch the news, but, like, I feel like it wasn't always in the news, like, a lot of this information, until obviously, like, Black Lives Matter became what it is today, like, a much bigger, very important issue. Like, I feel like I didn't learn the stuff that I should have learned when it came to Black history, because we do learn about it in school. Like, it is part of America's, history. So I was like so surprised to find out so much different type of information. And I was like,
you don't learn about the nitty gritty stuff in school.
Yeah, I was like, we learned about like the bad, like what they consider to be the really bad stuff. But like, I feel like I learned more about the Ku Klux Klan than I did about Black history after, like I said, the Black Lives Matter.
I mean.
I don't realize what good thing to say.
All the Klan shit, that's all part of it. When it comes to like civil rights and like Jim Crow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The thing that I couldn't believe is how like close to home all that shit was because like when I went out to protest, I was like meeting people that were like, yeah, my cousin literally last week like got shot and killed by the police for no reason in his own home. And I was like, dude, that's fucked up. And then I started hearing about all these other names, like, yeah, a couple months ago, my uncle, he got his ass kicked by the police just for having a traffic stop and this and that. And then I'm just hearing all these like local stories. I'm just like, God damn, I didn't know shit that you're hearing about on the news. It's just happening regularly, around me. Like,
it like throws you off like really hard.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was just very surprised by like all like the nuances and like the law when it comes to like people of color that I probably should know, considering I am also colored. It's like, I know nothing about the world I live in. Nothing. Not a single goddamn thing. What is wrong with me? I feel bad for myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, really.
You feel bad for yourself.
Yeah. Because I'm not saying that something would happen. I'd barely leave the house. But like on the off chance that something did happen, the fact that I didn't know about a lot of like the little stuff that happens against, colored people, obviously the black people more so, is I don't know, crazy.
It's crazy to me how much how should I say this? How often you find like black people that don't believe that this shit is happening. Like, you see it on your phone all the time. Like,
yeah.
Oh, this is fucked up. Oh, this is fucked up. But then you hear about, like I saw this one video of this guy that was, like, complying with the police. They were like, hey, stop. We need to do stuff. And he was like, okay. He just threw his hands up. He emptied his pockets. He was like, okay. And they were still, like, just, roughing him up and just being like... And just Dicks. Being like, they were just being assholes to him for no reason. And he's just like, bro, my hands are up. Like, what do you want? They're behind my back now. Okay. And then they're just like stepping on his head and being like, calm down. And he's just like, bro, you're hurting me. He's like, calm down, sir, calm down. And they start
what is he doing?
Pointing guns at him and shit. And he's just like, bro, I cannot believe this is happening to me right now. I cannot believe this is happening. I'm just like, bro, this is so sad.
I know it's so
to think about that, like, oh, like you see it on your you see it on social media, like, oh man, that shit's fucked up. But when it's fucking happening to you, it's a different fucking story, and it's really 100%. Scary.
But it's insane to me, like, how people will still sit there and somehow try and find a way to blame the person that's saying, like, hey, I'm literally not resisting. Can you just step off? Anything. You already have me handcuffed. That's what bothers me the most, too. It's like, they're handcuffed. Maybe I'll try and give it to you if you want to still make the argument that, oh, they're not handcuffed yet. Okay, fine. Sure. Whatever. Maybe I'll give it to you.
Bro.
But if they're already handcuffed, he can't do anything.
When you are...
you know what I mean?
Face against the ground, hands behind your back, held at gunpoint. How much of a threat can you fucking really be? When you got like 5 cops on the scene and they're all holding this guy at gunpoint and he's on the ground with his hands behind his back and you're still threatening him, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't. What's your problem? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, how can so many people still try and like fight it? Like, so stupid. Like the amount of cops too that like are like, I had like, because my dad's a cop and my sister's husband is a cop, they have friends who speak a little bit like that, and like some of them will still try and argue it. They're like, no, but like you never know when they're gonna resist. And it's like, I'm not saying that like you shouldn't be cautious. I'm just saying there's no reason to be this cautious, like I don't know. I just feel like there's just too many things that you can't sit here and try and play off as, oh, well, what if this is like, if that situation happens, then clearly they weren't handcuffed correctly. That's not like, I'm not going to condone whatever happens after, but I'm also not going to sit here and be like, yeah, let's just blame the guy because he decided to move a hot second, to like try and live. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. He told you, I can't breathe, and you still decide, oh no.
I've seen videos, too, of, like, cops making, like, just like a... I don't want to say, they're pulling someone over for, like, a traffic stop. And, like, instead of coming to a complete stop, they will, like, they'll point their guns out the window and then blow shoot the tires out of the cop's car just to slow them down, and then they'll speed off. And it's, and it's just like, god damn. But like at the same time, it's like, I get it, because those guys were obviously black, so they had the right. They really did have the right to be scared of being stopped by the cops. And
honestly,
it's like when with all this shit going on, it's like as a black person, like at all, why would you not always carry a gun around with all the shit that's going on?
I don't know. I still wouldn't. I still wouldn't. I could care less like the argument is. I'm not going to make myself more of a target than I need to. Having a gun on me just gives them more of a reason to feel like, oh, this is even more justified as to why I probably shot them and killed them. Not because they were already fine and nothing was going to happen.
But a guy with a cowboy hat on in Texas is allowed to carry a gun on his hip into a fucking Walmart. Give me a fucking break.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like point of view, like you also gotta realize, like it's probably not all gonna.
I get it. It's not a good look, but like at the same time, it's oh, this guy was caught with a gun on him. It's like, yeah, look at him. He looks like someone that the police would kill for no reason. Like, what are you talking about?
That's the other part. It's like, yes, I would love to defend myself, but then again, I'm defending myself against a cop, which I'm, again, not condoning cops at all. But it's still just a matter of, that's a profession. That's somebody who's meant to do those, like, their job is to, do that stuff, like, pull you over if you're a criminal, whatever. But, like, that's not the case here, So it's, I don't know, it's, like, very hard to justify keeping a gun while at the same time also still understanding why you should probably keep a gun. Because you can't shoot someone. But at the same time, if I'm going to get shot anyways, might as well. So it's that's what I mean. Like,
you got to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, like, I can get it.
You're like, I'm not going to risk even having a gun on me. And then there's like, I mean, for me, if I was black, I feel like I'd be stupid to be black and not have a gun on me, like, almost at all times. That would be me.
Yeah. I could get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's very...
Like, the world is out to fucking get me, especially in America.
Yeah. I could get it. I could get behind that kind of...
Yeah, I don't own a gun now because, like, I live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and, like...
well, what I need it for.
Yeah, and I'm white. Like, what do I need a gun for?
That's what also confuses me in, like, states, like, southern states that allow you to open carry, That, like... if it's obviously it's a black person or even just a person of color, they'll somehow find a way to, like, use that against them. But it's like, it's an open carry state. I'm allowed to have this with me, but because I'm colored, I can't, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just feels very racist, and I don't know how people could try and fight that. It is. Like, you're like,
it's not even a feel. It straight up is racist.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like...
feel. Like, you can just smell the racism in the air.
Like, a huge double standard, if I ever, like, saw one, if I could physically see one, this is what I feel like it would look like. And you're giving me that. You're giving me a visual representation of this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like that's why I went out to protest. Like, I saw it as like a way to, like,
help
show support, but, like, also, like, it also came off as, like, a learning experience almost, because there was a lot that I didn't know about before I went out.
Yeah, you learn a lot without, like, realizing it. That's why I said, like, it was kind of, like, thanks to it that, like, I learned a lot of stuff, but at the same time, like, it feels weird that, like, it took this to, like, really make it make sense,
Yeah, because you hear about, like, the civil rights stuff in school, and it's just, like, the integrating of schools and everything, and it's just like, oh, that's so cool, that happened such a long time ago. It really wasn't. Your grandparents were alive back then. Bernie Sanders was protesting back then with them, with Martin Luther King. Like, it really wasn't that long ago.
And, like, the other thing, that also throws me off sometimes, too. Like, when I have to, like, really put my mindset to it, it's also, like, Anne Frank was alive when Martin Luther King Jr. was alive. And, like, it feels like two different time zones. Like, timelines, but it's not. Like, it's all within, like, the same timeline to an extent. Not all of it, I believe, but, like, some of it is. There's, like, just so much that, like, you have to learn that you can really tell that the American school system doesn't choose to teach you unless, like, you have the money to, like, really put that, you know what I mean? Like, put yourself in there for that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if private schools teach that stuff. I feel like they should. Maybe they do.
I think it depends on the private school.
True.
Because they get to choose their own curriculum. I was trying to think of the word. Yeah, it's crazy. But I feel like I feel like you, like, even being colored, there's certain times in like history where you'd be all right.
Sometimes I think it also like depends on like, you know, where I am. Most of America, except for like the East Coast, and that's still technically on New York, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess a little bit of Jersey was still kind of not the greatest, but I'm pretty sure like, yeah, maybe other parts in like the country would probably be better, like different. I don't know. I can't be too sure. I don't know too much about other colored people and their history outside of what I was taught about America, and then like the little bit on like World War II and World War One and like how they treated soldiers. So that was my school system. So you know, maybe I just didn't learn the right stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you learned and what you didn't.
Yeah, every time I try and like compare stuff, I'm like super surprised. Like sometimes I get kids who did get like the basic of sex education. I will find people that actually can say like, oh yeah, I
like how to put a condom
I had
on
that.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then like other times I'll find out like people just don't know what like some STDs are called at all, and they don't even have an idea that condoms, for one, definitely don't break unless you're doing something to them, or if it's like expired. Like it's very rare for them to break like that. Yeah. You know, or like you're wearing it inside out, so yeah, it's gonna break a lot easier because you know it's not being worn correctly.
They're safe, but they can break. It's possible.
Yeah, no, I know it is, but I'm saying like the likelihood of it, especially with like how far it's come, it's not 100% likely. It's not even like I think it was like what, like
it's like 98% safe. Or
yeah, like 98.9% safe. So it's like you have a 2% chance of it breaking on you, and you guys don't know this. Like you guys, you know what I mean? Like some people don't know that. Like, and I'm like, no wonder there are so many like teen pregnancies. Like that was probably not the best. Like I feel like you should teach people about this stuff. Yeah. At least about like STDs, you know? I feel like it's big to know this stuff. But I know. I you know.
I know for like some teenagers it can be a very awkward conversation. But it's like one that needs to be had. Like
that's the other thing that bothers me. Parents not talking to their kids about
not talking to their kids. To specifically telling the schools not to teach their kids about that stuff.
Oh, that bothers me. I'm like, what? Why? What? Why would you willingly open your mouth to say that?
They'd rather send them to church to learn about abstinence instead. It's just like, then
that even bothers me more too. Like for the church, it's like, all right, you want them to abstain. Teach them about their bodies, so that way if they decide to go against you, they at least have an idea of how to keep themselves safe and protected. Like you don't, like you're saying abstain, don't do this, but like you're not gonna teach them anything. Really? That's what we're gonna do?
There's not that plan B where it's just like, okay, well don't do this, but just in case you're gonna, there's safety nets. You know?
Yeah, literally, like, you know, like, obviously, like, a lot of religions, they don't believe in birth control. Okay, that's fine. You can you can even teach
Catholic
girls
families?
Forget it.
They have babies like crazy.
Yeah, and you wonder why.
Crazy.
Like, it's just like, okay, if you're not going to teach your boys for some fucking reason to wear a condom, at least teach your girls. Women have women condoms. Like, you can literally... Right? Yeah, like you can, like you as a girl, you could go and get yourself a condom that's meant for your vagina, not for a dick, and help yourself out. You know, save yourself a little bit of time. You know, like protect your donut hole or something. Why would you, for free? You're gonna give this little child who probably doesn't even know how to please you correctly for free? You're gonna let him enter you like that? For really? Really? That's what your mother taught you. Your mother taught you that you could just do that to yourself. Okay.
You heard it here first, folks. Protect your donut holes. Early in 2022.
It's just they're in high school. Like, what techniques do you got? What do you just know how to missionary, and maybe if you saw some porn, maybe doggy style, but even then you probably don't know how to do it correctly. So you gonna sit here and give me and tell me?
I feel like I'm being called out right now, Erlene. What you trying to say?
just it bothers me.
I know I didn't have no game in high school.
It just bothers me how many girls will sit there and be super fucking okay with just saying, you know what, I'm gonna trust him. You know, I wanted to be with a guy that like really likes me and like I trust him. It's like, shut up. He don't know how to help you. He don't like you like that. I promise you, he don't. It's just, you know.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know. It's very upsetting. Like, just don't for free. At least charge. I mean, like, I don't care what anybody would say. Charge. I literally deadass, like, if this is what's about to happen, I would rather him spread a rumor saying that he had to pay me for it than me just giving it up and possibly something happening. I'd rather get some bank out of it, if at least. Like, I don't care. I'm having underage sex. If something happens, you think my mom's gonna help me? No, she's gonna condemn me. She's gonna sit here and disown me. I'm gonna be broke and pregnant. Hello? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Cover your bases. Get some insurance. Write a contract. I don't know.
I needed Erlene to write a book.
And literally, anything can be considered a contract. So you can literally write the most simplest contract in the world on a piece of paper, a napkin. If you have a pen and a napkin, you can write yourself a very basic, rudimentary contract. It'll work. It's fine. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a witness there to also testify to the fact that this was written, you know, it don't matter.
They really have to witness the act as well.
Yeah, they have to. And you can also, and I believe that they say this now too, definitely for sure, if possible, get that person, the witness, to also sign their name.
They should probably also film the act too for
oh yeah. No, but I'm saying like if you can't get all that, getting the witness their name down on that paper, full name, like full like legal certificate name. Like if they got a middle name, make sure they put their middle name on that, because I'm not asking for your social security here. I'm just asking you to give me the very basic information. Help out.
Your phone number, your email address, your mother's maiden name, all of it. You know what I read today?
What?
Nevada is the only U.S. state where prostitution is 100% legal.
That sounds great.
It is great. Also, Amsterdam is I know it's not in the U.S., but like that
that's for sure not.
That place is 100% legal prostitution as well.
See, I feel like if they just made it legal, it'd be so much easier to deal with so much stuff. Like,
there's a whole region in Amsterdam called the Red Light District. It's called the Red Light District.
I love red light districts. That's such a classy name for it. I love it.
Yeah.
Japan had their own. I'm pretty sure Japan still has their own. I don't know.
Yeah. Amsterdam's is like known for it because there's so much prostitution that goes on there. But like, I feel like when prostitution is legal and like, you know, somewhat controlled, it's less gross. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot easier to deal with. Like, technically, even now, I'm sure like there are a lot of laws on it and stuff like that. But to an extent, like OnlyFans, depending on the content, could technically still be considered prostitution, I believe, because you're still soliciting like pictures and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, it's technically not. I forget like the nuances and stuff that goes into it, but like technically, you know, you are selling your body. The only difference is the form it's coming in. So you're choosing to use pictures or videos versus actually selling your body in person. So
I don't know if I'd classify it as prostitution though.
No, I'm saying like I'm pretty sure in
like by definition in some places.
In like the law, I believe, yeah, like the definition like prostitution is something similar to that. I think it, like I said, like you're definitely not wrong. Like it definitely depends on like the states and all that. So
yeah,
but like I was just saying, like as far as I'm aware, like it's still technically, you know, you are prostituting yourself. It's just like I said, like a different form of it.
Yeah,
but like you're not wrong. It would help. Just who cares?
I don't care. I'm
how many times are you gonna sit there and be upset that, like, okay, a girl's making money off of the fact that you want to get your dick wet. Okay, you use some shea butter. I don't care. Like, what are we complaining about? What's the problem? Like, you're upset because they're using that to their advantage? Oh no, God forbid. Like, okay.
True.
I'm failing to see the actual problem here.
Yeah, I don't know why people are upset about it. I do know why they're upset, because women being successful angers people.
Oh, yeah, that too, yeah.
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care either. I mean, of course I wouldn't care. What the fuck would I?
If anything, I'm just like, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Get your money. Also, thank you. Thank you for sharing this great thing that you have with the world. Thank you.
Right? I'm like,
you're doing a service.
Like, for one, if you want to be upset about people making money on, like, platforms that they shouldn't be, I'm not saying that it's not, like, clearly it's obviously fine, but hot tub streams, I definitely feel like that content is definitely an OnlyFans type of content. But that's me.
You don't think hot tub streams should be allowed on Twitch?
Just say, they're still following the guidelines. That's what like boggles my mind, is that, like, Twitch decided to, like, make clothing guidelines, and people were still able to find a way around it, because their guidelines say, like, depending on where you are streaming, yes, you can be wearing a bathing suit. Guess what? If you're in a hot tub, it makes sense that you would be wearing a bathing suit. Yep. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're so big-brained, but it's still just like, you didn't want this content on your platform, but you still allowed this content on your platform. What are we upset about? Like, incels completely bother me. I'm like, you are still paying for the content. You do really, like, you're feeding into this industry that you are complaining about.
No, I don't think the incels are buying into it. I think they're the ones trying to destroy it.
Are.
The simps are the ones that are feeding into it.
No. So what I mean when I say this is because, and it has happened, and it happens a lot, is that the same guys who are condemning those girls for being whores and being, like, just selling themselves and, being gross and blah, 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 are the same dudes who are buying into that content. The only problem is they still have a problem with women. They're condemning them for doing the thing that they pay the money for. And it's very surprising. Like, I remember I watched, this porn star, this actress, she does porn. And she was saying how she, like, from the content, to an extent, the amount of, like, obviously, like, men who watch her stuff is pretty high, but she noticed that a lot of the people that comment the same stuff, like the mean stuff on, like, the porn sites, but then on her OnlyFans, because they have, like, the same username, so I guess they're not smart, it's shocking to her, because, like, they'll, on, like, Pornhub, they'll say, like, really gross shit, and, like, be really, gross and, like, demeaning, but then, like, on her OnlyFans, because they're paying for that stuff, they're really kind, they're really nice, they're really into it or whatever. So, like, it's a mixture of definitely 100% more simps, but the amount of incels that are still paying for this content, because, let's be honest, they still want to see a woman. They still want to see a woman naked.
Yeah.
They're not gonna 100% say, I'm 100% against. Like, they could say it, but we probably both know, not like you and me, but, like, if I was talking to them, like, we probably both know that you're lying. You can't tell me that you're not sitting here and consuming some type of content that is in some way sexual or hypersexual. Even just a booty pic on Instagram still counts if you want to say it count. Like, I'm gonna count that as you still looking at the woman body in a sexual way, because you are. So you're upset because they're using it to make money, and, you're still helping. Like, you clicking the like button on that picture is still helping her out, like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, depending on the form of media, like, it's still, you're helping. But you want to fight it, and I don't know why.
I don't think they realize that they are part of the problem. Either they realize it or they just don't care. Like, they're just hypocrites.
Oh, I feel like
that goes down a whole nother rabbit hole of, like, mental illness.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's one thing to be an incel, but it's another thing to identify as an incel and then be like, I don't care, I'm gonna buy the stuff anyway. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so confusing. Like, how are you gonna sit here and with your whole fucking chest be like, women are disgusting. I would never date a woman like that. I would 100% never let my girlfriend dress like this. But then you'll watch content with women dressed like that. Or pay for content that's like that, you know? Like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, you are very comfortable saying all of this, so stick with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. BRB, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Keep talking.
Oh, what am I supposed to talk about? I don't fucking know. Make you happy. I don't have an OnlyFans yet. I would love to have one. It's so much work to do. I don't know if I'd be able to also spend the time doing it. That's a lot of commitment, lots of pictures to take, lots of, just caring, I guess, about it. I don't know. That makes sense. It would definitely help feed my DoorDash obsession, though. So my bank account would probably be very happy if I decided to listen to that piece of advice in my brain saying do it anyways.
What, starting an OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be lit. Like, I hear girls make a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, you have to obviously like be popular and stuff. Like, it's not like foolproof. It's not like it's gonna happen just because you have.
You gotta learn how to promote yourself, right? Too. That's all about getting the following.
Plus, it also depends on like how big you already are. To like before, like if you're just starting out, it's gonna obviously be very difficult.
Like, I know old girl streamers.
Like Amaranth.
Well, yeah,
or like Pokimane. If Pokimane had a fucking OnlyFans, whew, oh my gosh, you would never need to stream ever again.
Do you know Erlynbebe?
Yeah. Doesn't she have one?
She does. That's where her main income is now. She doesn't stream that much anymore. She just streams for fun now. She used to be a full-time streamer. Now she just streams on and off because she makes so much fucking money on OnlyFans, and I don't blame her either. She is fucking sexy.
Except for when she hurts her cats.
Yeah, that was a whole different thing. Yeah.
Jeez Louise. I'm so surprised. I feel like I should have known this information to an extent or something. I don't know. I feel like I was lied to. No, about Erlynbebe. I didn't know this. I thought
Oh, about the cat thing?
No, about her having an OnlyFans. I didn't know this information.
No.
Yeah, I was super surprised by it.
She kind of keeps it under wraps. She doesn't openly go out and be like, yeah, I have an OnlyFans. Like, you kind of have to look for it. Like, you kind of have to think, I wonder if Erlynbebe has an OnlyFans, and then you look it up. Oh my god, she does.
Yeah, is it under the same name?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, bro. God damn. I haven't subscribed yet, but I've thought about it.
Yeah, sure you haven't.
I have not. That is the whole truth.
Nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth. So help me God. But yeah, I have seen some of like screenshots in like the the first couple pictures that are on there, and I'm just like, God damn. Dude, she's like 34.
She is?
Yeah, she looks good
she
for
looks
34.
Great. Yeah.
I'm saying, bro. God.
I'm not saying like 34 is like old, but like, some people, you could tell they've aged a bit.
Yeah, some people look terrible in their 20s.
It's because they don't do their skincare. They don't take care of themselves correctly.
Yeah.
What was the other thing?
Yeah, Linity's 34. Shit.
Oh! Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot. I was gonna say, I didn't realize this because I only knew OnlyFans for like the sexual stuff. But you can have an OnlyFans the same way you can have like a Patreon. Like you could use it the same way.
It's basically the same thing.
I was like, what? Wait, I'm confused.
It got centered around the porn stuff because there was no TOS about it on OnlyFans. So you can use it for anything to like sell your plants or like
yeah, see, I didn't notice.
I was cheesesteaks. I don't know what the fuck people do.
I thought that was so cool. I was like, wait, you telling me that I could have like a Patreon, but like not a Patreon? I'm confused.
It just became really popularized because of all the uncensored porn that was on there.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. You know? It feels like a nice little bit of information to know.
You gonna go make an OnlyFans now?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And not have it be anything sexual, just you're gonna be selling your ashtrays that you make?
Probably not, no. I would go to markets. I would just go to a market. A market's a little bit.
What's the best way to sell or do what you do? Are you doing it, or do you think there's other better ways?
Do you mean like selling stuff, like like online versus like
promoting and selling your arts and crafts? Yeah.
I can't say which way is the best way because I'm not exactly popular in that field yet, at least, you know. I can say that like it is difficult, more so especially because I don't bother to do more for it like I should. And I should. But I do notice that I think it's a little bit easier to at least somewhat build a foundation if you do some markets, because by doing a market you can obviously give your card out, and people do like to stop back and forth like with anything. Like normally, like you go to the mall, you're gonna shop, you know what I mean, you're gonna walk in and out of a store if you see something you like and you come back to it later. Like it happens a lot. So like if you wanted to create a solid foundation, go to market. That they're not bad, nothing bad's gonna happen if you do it or you don't. Like, you know, I don't know, it feels easier to get that than it is to just like try and build it up like on Instagram or like TikTok, since algorithms change, you know, like what might be popular one month won't be popular to do the next month, and you can lose views or likes or whatever, you know. So like, and it's a little bit more consistent pay wise because of the fact that like you pay to like have a table, but as soon as you get there you have, you know, however long that like market's open. Like one market I went to was open from 9 to 5, so like a full work day on a weekend. So that's a lot of time and a lot of different customers to come in and, you know, just hang out, see what you have to offer. But at the same time, if you're just trying to build solely through, you know, online revenue, I would say Shopify. Etsy's fine. You just gotta definitely read the policies. They're not 100% on protecting the sellers all the time, 100%. For like little different reasons. It's not like all the same stuff. It's depends on like what it is. It's usually proprietary stuff. Shopify is a little bit more lenient, especially with payments and advertisements that they would offer their sellers. But it's definitely just about being consistent on both ends, regardless of online or, you know, market selling. Like either way, you have to be consistent on your online platform and your outside platform, of which I am not. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm I don't want to say I'm lazy, but I am. Because, like, I don't know how to put this into words without it, like, sounding really stupid. Yeah. I just don't like having a ton of product stuff. I don't like having a ton of products just sitting around in my house. And I also don't want to have a ton of products just lying in my house because I live with people. So
yeah,
I'd rather not just make an excess amount. And that's one thing that I unfortunately am stuck with. Not being able to make excess to try and sell a lot and take a lot of pictures just because I have to still somewhat be conscious of my situation and the people I live with. If you don't have to worry about that, then I would say, yeah, go ham, do themes. If you have an idea for like Easter and you're like, I really like the way this idea looks and I want to make more of it, go ahead. It's the best thing you could do. People like to buy themed stuff, or if you just want to make a whole bunch of just random shit, go ahead. Who cares? I just, like I said, I don't have 100% that luxury, so I can't just, I think anything that works for you really is dependent on the seller and like what you're selling. Like if you're selling like art, and I mean like paintings or hand drawn stuff, or even stuff like on like just illustrated stuff for like that's like on Photoshop or Procreate. It's definitely a lot better and easier to sell online than to sell in a store. And it's probably a lot better to try and get connected to art stores that let you put your stuff on there for a better price. If you know what I mean, like
people who make digital art.
Yeah. Okay. If you have that, like you're definitely, it's a lot better because your stuff is all like it's online. The only problem is like NFTs. I feel really bad for like, digital art, people who just like make poster art, like stuff like that, or like just regular paintings. Like anybody could come and just take your work and unfortunately to an extent, somewhat own it, which is why it's really important to just get your stuff proprietary. Like make yourself an LLC, cover your name, make sure you got everything. Get all your bases covered. Like if you make art, don't just put your name on shit. Putting your name on shit's not gonna fix anything. Like go ahead. It's gonna cost you a little bit, but get your name. Like get your name owned. Own it. Like what is it? I forgot where you do it.
Like copyright or patent it.
Yeah, like just get your name or your business or whatever copyrighted and patented, because then nobody can take that from you. Like they can't try and go ahead and try and do something with it. Like it's protected. You're protected. You're covered. You don't have to worry about something happening. And if something does happen, you are within your jurisdiction, your right to do something about it. You can, like NFTs, legally. You can go ahead, I'm pretty sure, and legally sue each and every fucking person who takes your art and doesn't use it without your permission. And you can make that a thing because they would have to get your permission because it's owned by you. Whatever you make is yours. They cannot just take it because they, want to take it. That's just not how it works.
Yeah, that is a smart idea.
Well, I mean, in general, like even I, to an extent, I have to get my name like owned. The only thing is I'm not doing it simply because of the fact that like I don't know if I'm going to stick with this name. So I don't want to buy this name if I'm not going to stick with it 100% yet. But I definitely know that I have everything else covered. I do, like all my taxes, I do put down that I'm an LLC. So it's just like it's a business owned by me. Nobody could take it from me or, try and say otherwise. Like I'm protected at least by the government to an extent when it comes to my taxes on it. They could probably try and sue me for like the name sharing or whatever. Like especially if they took it first and it's like, all right, well I have to come up with a different name. not dying over it. You know, like it's not the end of the world for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's fine, but I could definitely see how like it might be an issue maybe for somebody else who like they've built their whole platform on that name. In which case, if you know you're sticking with that name, like I said, get it covered. Get your insurance on it. You know, like a lot of people have the same fucking name for a lot. Like the amount of like Dollar Trees that I've seen that have like a different name for Dollar Tree, you know, it's insane, but like it
Dollar
works
General.
because they're working around it because it's a loophole that you still technically could get away with. They just can't use the actual name Dollar Tree. They have to use something else. Get yourself covered like that if you know you're sticking with that name. Like, if you're not going to change it, you know, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're protected.
Yeah. So you're basically self-employed then.
If I was consistent with the money I would make, then yes. But I'm not yet, so technically it's not the best. That's the other thing. Like, if you're just gonna, my situation is very different from most people's, but like, if you have an idea or you have a premise and you want to make money off of it, like Jordan and his music, he knows how to compose music. He knows how to make good music. He makes music that people people are listening to, want to listen to, ask him about updates on it all the time. You know, like he's good, you know?
Yeah.
If he wanted to make a business out of it, I would genuinely tell him, don't quit your job until you have a consistent flow of money over a year. I believe that's the minimum that you should be working towards. If you can make a consistent amount of money for the whole year, every week of every month, you're making this set limit that you have to give to yourself to cover all of your bills, obviously, for the month, like every month. And then the whole year, obviously. Then after that whole year, and you know you're not losing any like income, you're not losing any followers, you're gaining stuff, blah, 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 blah. At that point, I'd be like, yes, you can quit your job. If you know you can afford to quit your job and like support yourself with this business, do it. I, on the other hand, like I said, my situation is different, slightly unique, I guess. But I, on the other hand, technically can't survive off of this lifestyle. So I do have to find a different way to, you know, get money or make money or do something with it. So like it does work out for me when I want to go ahead and, you know, go to market. I have the free time to do that. But I'm not making consistent money because I also don't network enough to find different markets. And it's also a little difficult considering where I live. Where I live is pretty far from like everything.
Really?
It's not fun. Yeah. Well, because I live by the beach. So like imagine living by the freaking beach and everything else is like inland. I'm far.
Yeah.
Like I'm two to 3 hours away from just New York City from where I live. So, and that's without traffic. Sometimes maybe including traffic, depending on how well the day is. You know, I never know how the day is going to go.
Is that where you usually go for markets, New York?
You can go there for markets, yes. But it's not like they're the only ones. Like a lot of different states have stuff. But you know.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very dependent. Like I said, you have to recognize besides what your talent is. You have to recognize like where you live, how available you are for all of these different things. Like if you can't go ahead and go to a market most of the time to like make this money for your products, yes, have an online store. Do that. That's great. That's actually really smart. But also don't expect to just make money right away. That doesn't happen a lot of the time, you know? It's not that it's unlikely, I want to say. It's very difficult to expect.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot to think through. You have to know what your market is. You have to know what you're capable of, what you're free to do, how much money you can spend on this said thing. If you can't spend the money on it, you probably shouldn't be 100% putting your all into it unless you know you can. If, like, let's say, like I said, like with Jordan, like if Jordan knows, hey, I can 100%, give the time, this many days out of the week to my music to like make a career out of it, selling, making music for people and selling it to them for them to use. Also making sure that like my name is on it so they can't just steal it from me. Then yeah, I'm gonna do it. But like if he doesn't have that availability, then he shouldn't be putting himself out there to just, take the time to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make it make sense.
No, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, it's very dependent on like every little bit. So if you do macrame, it does make a difference. If you do music, it makes it, because wherever you're going to be putting yourself out there, there's a market that's different everywhere. It's not like it's all going to be, nowhere's easy when you're like, an artist in any field, but sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you're exactly what people are looking for. You're what they want to see. Maybe you're not, like you have to work harder. Like the people that are like, oh, girls have it so much easier on Twitch. All they have to do is show their boobs and, like they get followers. And like, I've been on here for like centuries and I don't have anything. It's like, relax, sweetheart. It's not that deep.
It's like you're obviously not doing something right then.
Yeah, like it's not you. It genuinely is probably, something else. Like you're really not it. It's not you.
Yeah.
Like it's the fact that people like that person, yeah, and whatever, and blah, blah. But recognize that they probably have the talent for that. They gave themselves that talent. They've decided to. That's what they wanted to do. I don't know.
Yeah, they could probably just as easy, like, put, like, a baggy shirt on and...
Yeah, and the people would still stay, maybe.
Else. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yes, maybe some of those followers were because of titties, but like at the end of the day, they're not just staying now for the titties. They keep coming back for a reason. It's not because of titty. If it is, that person's weird.
Yeah, they've obviously never heard of post-nut clarity.
Yeah. they do
like, what the fuck am I doing? And then they
still
click
are
away.
not figured. They still haven't figured it out.
Yeah. But no, it really does reminds me, like you said, the music thing.
Yeah, I use this music because I figure it's a lot easier to get.
Yeah, I was watching this documentary about like grunge in the 90s and how it just like exploded out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Out of like this little nowhere town.
Nowhere town.
In like Seattle, they were like, wait, Seattle has a music scene? It was crazy how it all went down, because like you go from like you start this band like right out of high school and you're like playing instruments and you're just like, you get a gig at a bar and you just go do your thing, and then you get a gig at this other venue, you start doing your thing, you make a little bit more money here and there, but it's not a lot. It's like enough for you guys to be able to eat for that night, like, but you're still living out of your van.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, a small record label hears about you and they give you an offer. And you're like, oh, cool. Now we're making a couple $100, So now we can get apartments and we can do this. We can buy better music equipment. We can afford recording sessions so we can get our debut album out. And then it goes from that, and then it just like, I don't know, like it's like you said, it's all very lucky, like being in the right place at the right time.
Meeting the right people, if you have the connection for it, yeah.
Yes, and that's how it all happened. Like, there was like an offer came in from like a big label, and it just like put that whole music scene on the map. So it's just crazy how things work out.
It's also like, it also does come down to talent. It really does. Like, you can... I hate when people also say, like, oh, you don't need to be really talented for so-and-so field. Like, you do.
You do.
You know,
there are
like,
very talented people that don't get lucky and they stay underground.
Yeah, you know, like yes, luck is in there, but at the same time, like, if besides you being lucky, if you don't have anything, people aren't gonna want to help you out, because why would they? You give them nothing, you show for nothing, like, you're just a figurehead at that point. Like, you just look good, you sound good.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, you kind of like have to like sell yourself. Like, what can like show them something that you can do that nobody else can. Like, not only they can do, but like what could, like, nobody else that they know can do this.
Yeah.
Because it gives them a reason to promote you.
Yeah, like, what reason do they have to want to give you that chance?
It's like a job interview. You're selling yourself.
Oh, 100% you are. And that's the other thing, like, you are, whereas, like, if you're an employee, it's a lot easier to an extent to get a promotion because you have somebody above you. When you are the boss and you are in charge, there's no one to ask for, like, help, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's no one to just sit there and be like, oh, you know, I want to do this thing, and you know, you have to do it all yourself. You have to know exactly what's happening. Otherwise, like, you're just gonna screw yourself over. If you don't know what you're talking about when you're making a brand deal or you're signing yourself up with a label, you might, you know, and it's happened before. Like, you know, I'm sure, like, too many famous bands are aware of this very sad fact, but, like, they've been screwed over before.
Yes.
Unfortunately, just because they didn't know how music labels worked. They didn't know how to, you know, talk to people or make it, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what the words I'm looking for, because I don't know music like that. So
yeah, it's all about making the right moves, and and it's not just music; it's for any field you're in. It's just knowing who to talk to. Who, like, should I sign with them? Should I
knowing
buy
the
this?
people,
should I do this?
I will say that's also like another career where, like, you need to be a people person.
Yeah.
You know? Unfortunately. If you're not a person, if you're not a people person, you need a manager or something then.
I mean, yeah, I had the documentary that I was watching, like 90s grunge, Nirvana was like the first band to get put on the map back then. Especially from their little area where they were from. Like, no one had ever heard that style or kind of music before. They were like, what is this? And
crazy, man.
But yeah, they were like, but the lead singer and songwriter was not a people person at all, and he learned that, like, early in his career, and that's kind of what drove him into his own madness.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But he doesn't. I feel like a lot of people, like, not blame him. Well, I guess they are kind of blaming him. The argument is, it's just like his point of view was like, oh, I didn't want to be big. I didn't want to, you know, blow up and be this famous and this and that. And everyone's like,
I didn't want this.
And they're like, but you signed to the huge label. You made the big record. You did this. You were doing that. You wanted, like, people are like, you say you didn't want it, but everything that led up to this made it seem like you want it.
Yeah.
And I get that. And it's just like, I don't know. For me, I think he was just like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but like giving voice to the voiceless, you know?
Yeah.
He wants as many people as possible to, like, be able to connect with his music as possible, and that's the whole reason, I think, why he did stuff like that. It's like, I'm not doing this for the fame. I'm doing this because it's art, because I want to get it out to as many people as possible.
That's the other thing too. Like, that's what I mean. Like,
the
knowing
fame was
your
just
market.
the byproduct. Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to, I'm not saying it's his fault. Like, he really did help open up, like, you know, a whole new genre to the world. But if you're like that, and you know you're like that, you know you're not the type of person to want this very intense lifestyle, To an extent, yeah, know that. Don't just because somebody's offering you, you know what I mean? Like, if they're offering you, like, this help, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna help make you famous, blah, 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 but you don't want that, know that for yourself. Like, know what your end goal is for that kind of plan, you know? If you're just aiming to, like, if as you know, like a seller, if, like, let's say, like, my main goal and my only goal was to just have a small store, then I should know that. I should have that information in my back pocket. I should be hyper aware that this is something that I want. I'm not gonna settle for less. I'm not gonna just sacrifice anything for it. You know, like, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy because, yeah, I don't know. It's just the thing that blows my mind is, like, how shocked everybody was when he killed himself.
Yeah.
And then,
I don't know why.
Like, well, not I don't know why. Like, people didn't see it coming. Like, people knew he had his problems.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, I personally don't know why people were shocked when it was something that he made known, if you know what I mean. Like, he made it known that he wasn't entirely happy with that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You know? So, like, I'm not saying it's justifiable for him to, you know, do what he did to himself. And,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
But, like...
Because, like...
I don't... You know?
Yeah, but, like, even, like, the people that were closest to him, like... most of the documentary I was watching was, like, surrounded around the tiny label that he started on, and, like, his closest friends and bandmates. And they were like, oh yeah, I knew him really well, this and that and the other, and I was talking to him, and they told, like, stories of, like, before he blew up, about how he had, like, a mental breakdown on stage, and how he was, like, freaking out, and he was like, he was like, that's it, the band's breaking up, and everybody was like, whoa, calm down, dude. And they took him to, like, Europe to, like, kind of, like, get his head straight, see the world a little bit, and then he was like, alright, fine. And, just a bunch of shit. But then it was like, it was kind of weird hearing, like, the guy, the head of the label's point of view. He was like, I just didn't get it at the time. Like, you know, we were all doing what we were supposed to do. You know, you find the band, you give them the nudging head start. They get to the big label. They make their music. And we were all doing what we were supposed to do, and it ended like this. Like, what the, like, it just makes you rethink what you're doing. Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Yeah. Yeah.
It does a lot. And I will say that, like, his story, not the part about, like, you know, obviously, like, him not wanting to be popular, but, like, his story of, like, dealing with, like, so much trouble with, like, labels and, like, making music and all that isn't an uncommon one for, like, that era, which is so sad.
Yeah. A lot of it, like, was drug fueled too, which didn't help.
Yeah, that definitely didn't help. But you know what I mean? Like, for all like the unnecessary trouble that it also caused, it's also, like, just very depressing to, like, know that they couldn't even enjoy making music when they wanted to because of the restrictions that they had on themselves.
Yeah.
Well, I guess put on them.
I don't know. It's getting late. Like, we should end the podcast. Yeah. It's already over 2 hours. Jordan's gonna yell at me. Alright. You got anything you want to say to the people, Erlynbebe?
Make sure you eat if you need to eat.
What would you recommend they eat?
I don't know. Depends on what you're feeling. If you want some spicy food, eat the spicy food. Do not hesitate to eat that spicy food. If that's what you're in for, get that. Like, you deserve it. That's what your body's telling you to eat.
Careful around the
eyes.
Plus,
it's probably for a reason. Oh yeah, don't touch your eyes. Yeah, don't do that.
Or your genitals.
Or your genitals. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Petey was watching.
Oh, hi.
All right. Yeah, that's the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next Thursday, right, Erlene?
If you
with
need me here
possibly
again, yeah.
Jordan.
Possibly.
Possibly, if he's not busy he's not busy stress testing on Thursday in the afternoon. All right. Later.
Bye.